Hello, this is Val Golufsky, and I want to welcome you to an overview of the Retaining Field Service Talent Outcome Chain. A very common service business challenge within the field service discipline is how are companies dealing with retaining talent and knowledge from the ever-changing workforce? By resolving this particular business challenge, organizations are able to improve their field service gross margin and to reduce overall employee attrition. The operational key performance indicators are leading indicators that will predict or ensure that you achieve these particular results. In the next link row, we have practices that, when implemented, have been proven to improve the operational KPIs. In the next two link rows, we have both the roles that are involved in achieving this particular business challenge, as well as the technology platforms that are necessary to support your efforts. And lastly, in the last link row, are the organizational capabilities that you will need to build into your organization in order to consistently achieve the desired results. Within the outcome chain, there are a number of connections that show important cause and effect relationships. These connections are shown here. I'll highlight a few of them to give you an idea on how to use connections. Now, in order to improve attrition, you have to get an understanding of what makes up total employee attrition. In this case, we've got internal transfer, involuntary attrition, and voluntary attrition. Now, there's little chance that each of these KPIs will contribute equally to improving the result. For example, you could have very low levels of internal transfer and involuntary attrition, but your voluntary attrition can be above industry standards. This is giving you an indication that maybe this is the first place that you should focus on when you look at this outcome chain. Now that I've given you a broad overview of the outcome chain, I'm going to use another connection to illustrate how to use the chain to drive improvement in your business. Since you don't have unlimited resources to throw at a problem, comparing your performance to the field service benchmark can help you prioritize by identifying where you have the largest gap. So by opening up the voluntary attrition link as an example, we provide a definition and how to calculate attrition, and then within the attachments we connect you to the field service benchmark, where you can see that voluntary attrition, the median is 3% within the field service benchmark. Now let's assume that after you compare performance to all of the KPIs on the link row, that this is where you have the largest gap. By clicking on the connection, you can see a cause and effect relationship between voluntary attrition, a couple practices that can improve that KPI, who's involved, and a number of capabilities. Let's take a closer look at the cause and effect relationship between voluntary attrition and staffing ratio. By clicking on the staffing ratio link, we can see that this is all about how many field service employees are managed by one manager. So when we look at the attachments, there are two things that are listed. Number one, we can connect to the field service benchmark again, and we find that field service engineers per manager have a median of 19.5 within the field service benchmark. The other link shows that connection between the span of control to voluntary attrition. So when we click on that, what we find is that there's a relationship, a very strong relationship, that the more the more field service engineers that are managed by one manager, the higher the attrition rate gets. And we've seen this with a very high p-value within our mining of the data. And the inability to manage and support employees comes from lack of career guidance, no understanding of training needs, and poor performance feedback. All of these contribute to the higher attrition that we're seeing. Finally, from the capabilities row, when you take a look at attract and retain field service talent, when we list this capability as we effectively recruit, engage, and retain employees using insight into the employment value proposition for critical talent segments. And by clicking on the attachment, what we've shown here is that by solving or including this one particular capability, you're able to solve a number of business challenges, which makes this a very leverageable capability within the service industry. So let us know what you think about the outcome chain, and good luck with your implementations.